So I learned about ISNA through Islamic Horizons, the magazine. And growing up, I was basically exposed to the great work of the organization. And then I spent a couple of years in Malaysia and came to know a lot of the founders who were teaching and at the Islamic University there. That really inspired me in so many ways because I heard their stories firsthand about how they had gone, their whole, basically spent their whole undergraduate years thinking and being concerned about what our community would look like in 50 years and what planning would be needed to build a organization that could serve that community. So when I came back, I joined, if you will, my first convention in 1996 in Columbus, Ohio. And I remember looking and seeing people from all over the country and even Canada and other parts of the world that had come there, and being really excited because there we had the example of people who truly wanted to improve themselves, their lives, and they looked to ISNA for services. They looked to ISNA as a place of congregation, if you will, at the convention, a place of coming together, reuniting after a year of not seeing one another. And then slowly, as I became involved, I started serving through the MSA of the US and Canada. And by virtue of being the president of that organization, I had a seat on the Shura of ISNA. So then I was able to have a behind-the-scenes look at ISNA. However, the real story for me is that I actually worked for ISNA. I came as an intern for about 3 months, and then I stayed on and was offered a position working on special projects with the ISNA Development Foundation and really living on campus. I literally lived at the headquarters. So I have a very vivid memory of my time here, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me to interact with a lot of the pioneers, to spend time with them, to hear their own sacrifices, their stories of sacrifice, and indeed how we would go on to carry that tradition. So today, as we bring another year to an end, I want to tell you that ISNA continues to try to improve, is focused on serving you and your families in the communities, and most importantly, relies on your support, your dua, and especially your contributions. So I hope you are as inspired as I have been by the work of ISNA, and indeed to learn more, visit www.isna.net and inshallah join us, become a member, and make a contribution.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin arrahmanirrahim. Malik yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghayril maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amen. The English translation of this is: in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, all the praises and thanks be to Allah, the Lord of the Alimin, mankind, jinn, and all that exists, the most gracious, the most merciful, the only owner and the only ruling judge of the day of recompense, the day of resurrection. You alone we worship, and you alone we ask for help for each and everything. Guide us to the straight way, the way of those on whom you have bestowed your grace, not the way of those who have earned your anger. And with that, I welcome you to, okay, here we go. Okay, a little technical difficulty here. Sorry about that. With that, I welcome you to another episode of the History, Community Life, and Diversity of Muslim Americans in New England. I am Hassan Rashid, your host, and I'll be here with you for approximately 25 more minutes. It's excellent being here with you, and I thank you once again for allowing us to come into your lives like we do here daily at CCTV. It's such a great achievement. Okay, I'd like to remind you that tomorrow is the change of season, seasonal change. That's the winter solstice comes in now. That's the winter solstice And also, tomorrow is the longest night in the year for the homeless. Okay, I got it right here. Okay, that's the night of the longest night. That's the night that they come together and honor or memorialize all the homeless folks that have didn't survive through the winter. Okay, I got the announcement right here if I can find it for you, and I can tell you where the ceremony is gonna be. Okay, well, I don't look like a. Oh, here we go. Okay, that's the pray. Okay, here we go. Excuse me for taking so long, but okay, prayer for the dead and fight like hell for the living. That's honoring homeless persons Memorial Day. So that's tomorrow, December 21st, and it's also the first day of winter. Okay. Recently, there has been great attention to overt acts of violence perpetrated through mass shootings, police brutality, and going incident with homicide. We are shocked by these blatant acts of violence. Yet there's another more pervasive form of violence in our community: poverty. Unfortunately, we have become so accustomed to deep and desperate poverty. It's no longer inspired the same distress as a discrete act of violence that too often makes the headlines. Of the 46 million people living in poverty in the U.S., too many suffer the ultimate consequences of collective failure to acknowledge and address the brutal conditions of deprivation. Those who are so poor that they experience homelessness are 3 to 4 times more likely to die prematurely and have a life expectancy of 30 years shorter than their counterparts. So, okay, I got where the memorial at the address, so where they're gonna hold the Memorial Day, Homeless Memorial Day celebration. It's going to be on, I think it's going to be up near the State House, but I gave you the correct information as soon as I can locate it here. I don't know what happened to that article, but okay, but so forth. We're going to move right along. I can't find it, but I'm sorry about that. Okay, Martin Luther King's Day celebration is coming up. That's also coming up. That's right after the holiday season is over with. But the holidays won't be over because this is another big holiday. That's the Martin Luther King Day celebration. That's Tuesday, January 16, 6:30 p.m. Central Square, Bryanston. That's right here in Cambridge. Okay, so you're going to be hearing more about that here as days wind down near to that event. But I don't know how that article, that information just got away from me. But let me see if I can find it. Okay, okay. Well, until then, until I look for it. But I just want to share this next video with you, and it's in regards to
hello.
The winter.
My name is Dr. Dahl, and on Thursdays I like to do a show called Spirituality Talk. Spirituality Talk is a show where I share with you matters of a spiritual nature, sometimes metaphysical, paranormal, and sometimes what may seem like mundane, everyday events that happen in the world, but I feel like every part of your life, every day, has meaning to it. Spiritual meaning, living a spiritual life. So yeah, today what I want to talk to you guys about is winter solstice. I know there's probably a lot of people that know of the winter solstice, but not quite sure of what is involved within this season. Most people are more familiar with Christmas, December 25th, but winter solstice is on December 21st. And I'm going to read to you an article I found online pretty much talking about what the winter solstice is. And after that, I'm going to put in a little bit more feedback of how I celebrate winter solstice and why I prefer celebrating winter solstice as opposed to celebrating Christmas, December 25th. So here we go. The history of winter solstice. The winter solstice is again upon the northern hemisphere, and though the year's shortest day heralds the onset of winter, it also promotes the gradual return of the sun after a prolonged period of darkness. That there are holidays at the time of this astronomical event is no coincidence. Since ancient times, people have celebrated the solstice and observed it with many different cultural and religious traditions. Some of them survive to the present day, though not always in the form you might expect. In the northern hemisphere, the winter solstice always occurs on or about December 21st and makes the beginning of the winter season. As many people notice, it's the shortest day of the year, featuring the least amount of daylight between sunrise and sunset. In the southern hemisphere, this is the time of summer solstice and the longest day of the year. From now on, as the northern days grow longer, so do the southern days get shorter. The term solstice means sun stands still. On the year's two solstices, winter and summer, the sun appears to halt in its incremental journey across the sky and change little in position during this time. Of course, contrary to appearances from Earth, the sun's changing position throughout the year is actually caused by the rotation of the Earth on its tilted axis as it circles the sun each year. The solstice occurs twice a year, around December 22nd and June 21st, when the sun is farthest from the tilting planet's celestial equator. The half of each year, the North Pole is tilted toward the sun, and for half of the year, the South Pole enjoys that privilege. This phenomenon creates our changing seasons because the hemisphere facing the sun receives longer and more powerful exposure to sunlight. In the northern hemisphere, the winter solstice occurs in December when the tilting of the Earth makes the sun appear to be the furthest to the south and furthest away. In the southern hemisphere, both the seasons and solstices are reversed. Okay, here we go. Winter solstice has been celebrated since ancient times. The holiday timing of winter solstice is rooted in ancient religion.
Okay, that's a little information to share with you on the winter solstice. So tomorrow is the first day of winter, and it's also the day that the homeless, those who have died from hypothermia or some type of depravity in the winter months, are celebrated. Okay, so I think that the church is Church on the Hill, 1 Baldwin Street in Boston, right next to the state capitol building. That's Baldwin Street, 1 Baldwin Street, Church on the Hill. And they're going to start about 4:30 tomorrow. And they're going to be a candlelight vigil for the homeless, all those who died out in the cold during the winter months. So that's Pray for the Dead and Fight Like Hell for the Living. Honoring Homeless Persons Memorial Day. That's December 22nd. We're going to try to get back to that sister in the winter solstice. But I'd like to remind you that, okay, one thing I skipped before we get into some of our subject matter here concerning the history of community life, diversity of most Americans in New England, is the fact that, once again, they're holding BioPlant. Do you love plants? Do you love sound? Do you love making sounds with plants? Well, once again, that's tonight at 6 p.m. The event is free, and CCTV will be hosting another jam session with the help of our Playtronic tech toy. And this is something that they hold every year here at CCTV, and you bring your own plant. So tonight is from 6 to 8 p.m. Playtronic is an electric device that uses wires to connect objects like a fern to different kinds of sound. When you touch the object or a leaf, it will make a sound. Deer will light, sound, smells, and more. We hope you come join us here at CCTV as we explore this new way of sound making. Don't forget to bring your own plant. Every year they have this, so it's 6 to 8 p.m. Those of you who know all about it, okay? Here we go. Right now, the first annual Black American Muslim Conference is coming up. That's in 2018. That's early 2018. And the theme of that conference is entitled Empowerment Through Healing. And confirmed speakers to date will be Ustad Alicia Prime, Dr. Sherman Jackson, Dr. Abdul Ali, Imam Fahd Dram, Imam Zad Shaker, Imam Dawood Wali, Aisha El Adawi, Imam Talib Abdur Rashid, Dr. Amina McLeod, Sheikh Kalal Abdul Rashid, that's the Sheikh Abdul Kalal Rashid, that's the Muslim Islamic chaplain at Harvard University right here in Cambridge. Margay Aziza, Imam Jihad Shafar, Imam Fahim Shuabi, Imam Mark Manley, and Imam Abdul Qadir Al-Amin. So, as you can see from the lineup of speakers, it's going to be quite an event, okay? So that's March 17th and 18th. California Islamic University, 598 South State College Boulevard, Fullerton, California. Stay tuned for more details coming soon. So you got a lot of time to prepare for that. That's the first annual Black American Muslim Conference titled Empowerment Through Healing. Okay, the Islamic Scholarship Fund is just about ready to be launched again. Okay, so if you're interested in scholarships, Islamic scholarships, the fund. Okay, that's the IslamicScholarshipFund.org/scholarships, okay? And you can go to that website. So the 2018 to 2019 Islamic Scholarship Fund scholarship applications are now live, okay? That's live applications for these scholarship funds. That's IslamicScholarshipFund.org/scholarships. The deadline to apply is March 21st, 2018. Minimum requirement to apply for scholarships, okay? That's the Muslim or active member of the community. Enrollment at an accredited university in the U.S. by August 2018. Majoring in an Islamic Scholarship Fund supported major. Okay, so once again, if you're interested in applying for the scholarship, you can go to IslamicScholarshipFund.org/ISF-supported-field, okay? And you have to maintain a 3.0 grade point average, a citizen or permanent resident of the U.S., an undergraduate, junior, senior, or graduate standing, including PhD, includes PhD by August 2018. So stay focused on our mission. That's, once again, the website is IslamicScholarshipFund.org/mission. We do port, health, economic, environment, agriculture, food, psychology, etc., etc., etc. So if you're a journalist major, accept the application here. That's journalist majors, this special website for you to go to. That's / that's GOO.GL/KTXSFA. Okay, so you'll be hearing more about that. Deadline supply is March 21st, 2018. You'll be hearing more about that in days to come. And so that's the Islamic Scholarship application is being launched, okay, for all you who need help in securing your education, okay? Once again, I'd like to remind you that Martin Luther King Day Jr. celebration is going to be kicking off at January 16, 6:30 p.m. Central Square Branch Library. So there's plenty of time for you to prepare for that right after the holiday, okay? If you're in any shape after the holiday, there's a Martin Luther King Jr. Day celebration. And don't forget, tomorrow at 1 Boyden Street, that's a church on the hill right next to the State House in Massachusetts and Boston, is the annual Homeless Memorial Persons Memorial Day, whereas they have a candlelight vigil in honor of and respect to all those homeless people who didn't make it through the winter and for some reason died due to hypothermia. Okay, hypothermia is something that sets in when you have no heat in the body. Okay, when you lose the heat in the body. Okay, national broadcast, The Sultan and the Saints, Peace Required Encounter. That's this documentary entitled The Sultan and the Saints is coming to PBS Tuesday, December 26, 2017 at 8 Eastern Time and 7 Central. So host a broadcast viewing party. You can invite it to host a broadcast viewing party, share this amazing story with friends and neighbors, create a viewing party. Okay, apply to receive a $250 mini grant to support your viewing party. Peace Requires Encounter is a national evangelical Muslim peacemaking campaign centered around the new UPF films, The Sultan and the Saints. Questions, so that's you can go to a website, or you can email your questions to support@upf.tv. So this is something that's being sponsored by ISNA, the Islamic Society of North America, and we open the broadcast with the message from the president of ISNA. We'll probably, inshallah, I'll try to get back to that. Okay, King Mission Society, seeing Christ at work in others. So that's the United Production Foundation presents the Sultan and the Saints, and they invite you to host a broadcast viewing party. So if you're interested, if you have questions, you can go to the website support at upf.tv. UPF Unity Production Foundation. It's support at upf.tv. Okay. When we get back, we're going to take a little break, but when we get back, I'm going to tell you a little something about the Second National Muslim Scout Jamboree. I want to get this other video on, and let's see if this is it. No, hold on. Just tolerate me for a little while.
Most of these things I'm saying are going to be or in general.
Appeared at Harvard University earlier this year. He has several books on the market that you might be interested in.
And I say that because we have a general Muslim community, but specifically in a Jalia, there can be specific, in a specific community, there are specific things that are dealt with, right? So we are told that, or at least I was taught, that when you have a medical doctor and someone has a particular illness, or if they have a particular predisposition to certain maladies, physical maladies, like if you have a father and a mother who have hypertension, then you are more likely to have hypertension, right? So you have to know the history of the patient that you're dealing with for the checkup or they're sick. Because if you don't know their history, you may give some medicine that's good for one person, but give it an incorrect dosage that may not help that person, that might harm that person. The same is true for spirituality and spiritual health. We have spiritual ilaj, or individuals have spiritual ilaj, or spiritual types of cures that need to be given, right? And this can differ from the individual. It can also differ based upon the psyche or the...
Okay, Imam Dawood will be making a presentation at the first annual Black American Muslim Conference. So this is going to be held out in California, Fulton, California. And you have plenty of time to prepare for that. Then make that trek out to California for this event. That's your first annual Black American Muslim Conference, Empowering Through Healing. And you'll be hearing more about that in the days to come. Okay, we got a few more minutes left, and I did promise you that we would get back to the sister that was presenting on winter solstice.
Religions. Throughout history, humans have observed the seasonal milestone and created spiritual and cultural traditions to celebrate the rebirth of sunlight after the darkest period of the year. Modern pagans attempt to observe the solstice in the traditional manner of the ancients. There is a resurgent interest in more traditional religious groups that is often driven by ecological motives, said Harry Yeed, a professor of religion at George Washington University. These people do celebrate the solstice itself. So yeah, that's the basics of what the winter solstice is. How do I celebrate the winter solstice? I celebrate it by, if I can, getting outside and making a fire in the fire pit. I put out a candle. If I have 2 candles,
Okay, the Mincy Trails Council and Boy Scouts of America proud to host the second National Muslim Boy Scout Jamboree in 2018, planned in a coordination with the National Islamic Committee on Scouting. This special event will be held from July 29th to August 24th, 2018 at Camp Mincy in Poco Summit, Pennsylvania. So all you Muslim communities out there in Eastern Massachusetts and New England, if you have children that are members of the Boy Scouts, this is the one for you. That's Many Trails Council Boy Scout America are proud to host the second National Boy Scout Jamboree in 2018. So if you'd like additional information on that, you can call, you can write Mini Trails Council, P.O. Box 2062, Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania 1800, or you can phone 610-465-8576, or you can email paul.oswald@scouting.org. That's the second National Muslim Jamboree. Don't forget now, Martin Luther King Day, Junior Day celebrations right around the corner at January 16th, 6:30 p.m. right here in the Central Square, okay? And you'll be hearing more about the Islamic scholarships available as soon as we get the information, okay? Okay, I'm Hassan Rashid. You know, it's always excellent being here with you. And it's also an awful great achievement to come into your lives like we do. And it's also a great achievement for you to allow us to come into your lives like we do here at the CCTV Daily. So next time I leave you with the fact that superior wisdom can never be subjected by inferior wisdom. So until next time, I leave you with the International Universal Cordial of Peace in the Arabic language, and that is As-salamu alaykum.
The history which produced different types of people, different types of communities. So the same type of medicine that would be given to an Arab community may not be the same type of medicine that's needed for a South Asian community. And the same type of medicine for a South Asian community may not be applicable in its proper dosage for African Americans. It might actually exacerbate problems. So with that, please keep that in mind. I will try to be specific on some certain